communication.
I think the people that do Samaritans and answer those ones are amazing, because most of them do it for free. But how much can you really set it straight where you've never met that person and they're at their lowest point?
The thing to remember, education.
We ignore that. Samaritans and answer those ones are amazing. Yeah. Most of them do it for free, but how much can you really set it straight where you've never met that person?
Close the window. Close the window.
We'll have to close the window.
Yeah. The positive thing that comes out of this is most people, if they ring in the Samaritans or ring in for help, and don't forget, you can just ring 999. Don't forget that. It's just an emergency, it's the same. They are obviously...
I've got a question for you. I've got a question. When you were 17, 16, 17, 15, 16, 17, did you have these negative thoughts?
Did I have these negative thoughts when I at that age?
Unhelpful thoughts? Probably not, right? Now, our young people are in such a crisis right now. Do you know that their helpline, it's called
the
Childline is up. It's most it's ever been, ever. Because kids that are doing exams now haven't got the coping mechanisms they did in the past pre-COVID. So what's going to happen when those kids are our age?
I know.
Oh, my God.
And look, I know a thing, but I'm going to moan about parents about it. Look, I am, because...
Good morning, Hayes, by the way. I missed you. I really missed you at the market. Please come on.
Yeah.
We'd love to talk to you.
Look, every parent wants their child to do well.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a standard. That's a given.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's how much you drive that child, because you have to realize there could become a point where not every child is a genius. However much you want your lovely...
Now you're speaking like you're actually sitting in a really strong position,
because I know
your kids are very successful.
Yeah, but they struggled really badly. And like you say, if you put too many things keep the kids under pressure, you've got to do well. If you don't do well, you're going to end up sweeping the roads, which is nothing wrong. It's a good job, right? You've got to wise up and look at what they are, because some children can't take the pressure. It's as simple as that. And you'll end up with eating disorders. You'll end up with drug taking, depression, suicide. Look, I do a simple thing when it comes to exams. You can take exams, you can educate yourself until the day you die. Just because you're not educated at 16 or 17, or you're not in university, does not mean you can't go back and do it at any point in life.
I say that all the time.
So, it's not the end of the world.
We're gonna talk about something positive for a sec.
Go
on. My week was really interesting, and on Wednesday, I'm very proud to say that Leah was asked to go and pick up an award for community. Now, I didn't quite know what to expect. Now, Oasis Academy Hadley, pre-Oasis Academy Hadley, the school it used to be called, I won't name it, was the worst performing school in Enfield. It was terrible. I used to go there and the kids were fighting. It was a negative energy. And I went there and it was amazing. I walked down the hall and there was just all these certificates saying, A-star, gone to Cambridge, gone to Reading, gone to here, gone to there, rows and rows and rows. It was so positive.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And I was sitting next to the founder of Oasis Academy. He left school with no GCSEs.
Yep.
Look at him now.
I know.
So really, there's great things happening out there, but we're going to have to, I'd love your opinion. Please call in 0238468888. Is one of the, I don't know what's going to finish us off, if it's artificial intelligence, Russia. Is it going to be mental health? Is it going to be the mortgage rates? What is it just going to be a combination of everything?
I tell you what, let's give some positive news.
Yeah,
inflation is down, which is good
for now.
I know, but that's good. Energy prices are coming down. Just over £2,000,
and it's the summer.
And it's the summer, and the woman's out. So let's get that out of the way. But I really think it's starting to creep in now. The papers are turning about it, about how the supermarkets are basically taking the wee out of prices.
The presenter that I was watching said that two of the supermarkets had made a loss. They haven't all made profit.
No.
They haven't made money.
No, I know, but they are. It's one of those things you got to be ethically thinking about, because it's very easy when you're in this situation where, I'm not saying everybody's used to prices going up, but they expect it at the moment. So can you know, and you can sneak it in. You can say, "Oh, we'll just stick another 10 pence on a loaf of bread." People are, it's got to the point now where people don't really care. We're not going to lose our customers, but
Do you think it's got to that point where people are not showing? Like this morning, I went to the Enfield Town market, and he handpicked the apricots.
Yep.
He handpicked the bananas. Like, I'd rather spend I'm really deciding where I'm spending my money nowadays.
Yeah.
I want to spend it in an independent, keeping families alive, keeping community alive. Really, if you're going to buy fruit and vegetables, please use Edmonton Green, use Enfield Town, use those market stall holders, because really they're getting different kind of produce to last longer.
No, look, and forget about best before. Look, there are certain things where you've got to apply best before and use buys, but use your common sense. Just that's all you've got to do. Use common sense. You know, just because it says use by tomorrow doesn't necessarily mean it's bad after that.
We want to hear your opinions.
Yeah.
It's not as fun a show when we haven't got a guest and the number is 0203. And it's really down to me and Malcolm to get people to come in. And it's been a crazy week. Like I said, 2 people this week have said they don't want to live anymore. And I had that on my shoulders, Malcolm, coaching them through that. I can see on the horizon, what's really important is our mental resilience. Where if you're a Ukrainian now, and you had to move home, they've got through it. Like, we've got a little bit comfortable in this country. We've got 1 million people unemployed, because they just don't want to work. And there's 1 million vacancies. What's going on?
Let's be honest. We've got soft. Right?
We have got soft.
We've got soft.
Morning, Steph. Call in. Let us know your feelings on this.
You know, kids nowadays, I mean, all right, let's take university age. There seems to be this wave where it's craving attention. So they'll all jump up and down on the latest anti-trans, anti-oil,
I think it's a small percentage of people, though. I don't think they shout louder.
They shout the loudest.
Tiny. They're a tiny, like trans. You got that lady that was now a transvestite that's cycling.
Yes.
Right, and she's just been thrown out of the British cycling team.
Yeah,
because she's a man.
I know.
And they said to her, "You're a man." And she said, "Yeah, but I'm taking anti testosterone." But they said to her, "You were born a man.
You still have that things.
You've got a competitive advantage."
Yeah, and I'm too old. I mean, the latest one that I'm not trying to be out. Look, trans people go through hell. There are certain people. It's a massive thing. They're born in the wrong body. They have to change. And I totally understand it, and I support them 100%. But people are taking it too far. You know, birthing persons now. Birthing persons, really. Because we can't say, we're not allowed to say woman anymore.
I would love your opinion on this. Call in, phone in, let us know what you think. We two men that are not afraid of tackling a subject. What do we think about phone tapping and the newspapers?
It's been going on for years.
Hugh Grant said, right, he's got evidence that the newspapers broke into his house, smashed into his house, took nothing, took loads of pictures of the inside of the house. And then the next day it was on the news.
But you know what? That won't happen anymore now, because they don't need to. They can just hack everyone's, all these people now, celebrities, they stick everything on social media. Look at what was it? What was the one? The Wagatha Christie. All that over social media. Listen, you don't want people to know about things. Don't stick it on the internet.
There's that famous Spurs footballer that was showing off that he had loads of watches and where they were, and he got burgled the next day. And I know the security guy that did it and said that just don't bloody put it on Instagram that you got all these expensive
anything. It's this craving for attention. I just don't get it. Absolute madness.
So we love to educate here.
Yes.
We've got in the newspaper this week the top 5 motoring myths. So this is interesting. Are you allowed to drive barefoot?
No.
It says, whilst not illegal to drive barefoot, it's not a sensible idea. You're
And
right.
it doesn't just apply to barefoot. Heels, anything else. The Highway Code states you must wear sensible protection.
No flip-flops.
Yes, flip-flops. And there's a good reason for it. You know, if a flip-flop comes off your foot and gets stuck under the brake pedal.
Is this one true? True or false? The only time you can enter an active bus lane is to let an emergency vehicle through.
Correct.
They still receive a fine.
Yeah, but you can challenge
There's
it.
a good reason why. Children under the age of 12 must wear seatbelt at the back.
Yes.
Correct. It's illegal to drive at night with the interior light on. Oh, that's tough.
No,
Oh,
there's a slight spin on that. You are not allowed to show a white light from behind while you're driving, unless you're reversing. And it's to do with the light colour.
it's a long answer here, but
Yeah.
Malcolm's right. You are allowed, but it's a bit quirky. Got to have a traffic officer in a really bad mood, but just don't do it. There's a reason we don't do it. Just don't do it. Very interesting. What events are happening in Enfield and the surrounding area?
Oh, we got the car show, and I'm going to tell you, electric. You know, I love electric cars.
Mhm.
Right? There's just going to be a big thing coming out. All right, it's under the things at the moment, but it's thing. So for anyone who has an electric car, they'll understand this, but for people who don't, I'll tell you, it's only a quick thing. So one of the features with an electric car is you can use what they call regeneration braking. The idea being is, rather than taking your pressing the brake pedal to slow down, you can take just your foot off the accelerator, and the electric
Sounds
motors.
complicated to me.
Well, no, the electric motors are still spinning, and what they do is generate electricity and put it back into the battery. But the part of that, because they're resistance, it slows the car down. But a lot of the cars don't display the stop braking light when you're doing that. So
That's
your
just
car
dangerous.
effectively slowing down, and the brake light doesn't show. So watch that.
Fascinating. Steph, can you read that? You're a bit closer to me. Really, I never knew that. What didn't you know?
What didn't you know?
Birthing. I'd find the term a
I
bit.
know, I know, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. There's a really good clip on YouTube, right?
I don't understand what's this saying.
Talking about a birthing person and not allowed to,
Ah.
because all this toxicity around, you're not allowed to call a woman a woman. There's a video on YouTube, look it up, where a kid is doing a spelling bee. You know, they have these spelling competitions,
Mhm.
and his word was woman, and he said, "Can you put it in? Can you define what it is? What is a woman?" And the judges are all going.
Well, Labour's taken years to figure out what woman is.
See, I'm going to nail myself, and I'm going to then this is going to cause people who are going to hate me, and I don't care. A woman is an adult female human being. That's it. It's not hard. That
Mm.
is it.
Well, one's got testosterone, one's got different hormones, one's got an ovary, the other one hasn't. Brains are the same. One's a bit stronger than the other, and that's fine. Generally, generally.
No.
Look, we got to embrace our diversity. Steph, call in. I'd love to speak to you. It makes it more interesting because what we say is no guest comes on, we only carry on for half an hour. So really, really interesting. Love to know your point of view. Now, last week I said I'd do a talk to this yes group on the meaning of life, and they all waiting there, and I put in a little envelope what the answer was. And really the answer is different for different people. What do you want out of life? Now, some people are happy to sit on a boat and just go out there fishing, and that's their thing. Others want to rip up the world and change it. The meaning of life is different for everyone, but it's important that you know what your meaning of life is, because otherwise, with no direction, you just float along in the wind, and one year is exactly the same as the other. You got maybe human beings, I think we've got to grow. We've got to feel like we're going in the right direction for hope.
Yeah.
You think that's fair?
Yeah.
What's your meaning?
I think.
What's your meaning
What's
of life?
my meaning of life? I use the same phrase as what doctors do. So whenever doctors become doctors, they have to swear the Hippocratic Oath.
Mhm.
Okay, and the first thing they have to say is "do no harm."
Hmm.
And I think that's my meaning of life: do no harm. It's simple and it's stupid, but that's all you want. To me, that's the important thing in life: do
Like that.
no harm.
For me, very much about making a difference, leaving legacy, helping others. I really love that. Currently looking after my health. I've decided I want to live another 20 years. I just decided,
Really?
20 years. That sound crazy? Or...
No,
That's for me.
20 years.
Now, all of those that said Brexit is a great thing, they'll celebrating this week because Germany went into recession. And so they're saying, see, we told you it was the right thing to do. I still can't see it.
We are not. We're not going down Brexit because we'll end up with a thing. With the thing. My feelings on Brexit. Look, I still think Brexit was a good idea.
Oh, look, you can celebrate today because
no, it's not a celebration. I always said at the beginning that we were going to have 5, maybe 7 years of absolute horror after Brexit. It was going to be a disaster. But you've got to look at long term, And I'm only going to say, and I'm not comparing. Now, I want to make this very clear. This comparison, I'm not making it as an actual comparison, all right, about slavery and Brexit. But if you look at when obviously they abolished slavery in America, you think half that country was reliant. The economy just died because they think it, but it was necessary. It was necessary. It had to be done. And I think that's the thing longer term. We do have, and I don't care about, and remember, don't care about immigration because in fact, net immigration has gone massively up.
Do you know that we're paying in this country £10,000
Yeah.
to foreign teachers to come in here and teach our kids?
Yeah.
£10,000 golden handshake. I've got friends in education. I've got children in education. They say their accent is so strong they can't even hear.
Nope.
They can't even understand what they're saying. What is going on?
Yeah,
why do we need to pay 10 grand? Like, why do we need this?
Do you know why?
Did you watch Question Time?
No, but do you know why? It's very simple.
Yeah.
Because we don't value, we don't want to educate our own people. People who were born and bred in Great Britain, because I don't know. It's. I mean, you look at your average university student walks out of university with a degree and 30 grand in debt,
and some.
Yeah,
and some.
And you're trying to get a mortgage now, and it's impossible. So people won't do it. What we need to do is to educate our people. As part of the system,
and his mindset as well. Like we've got 1 million people off sick.
Yeah,
some of that is because the NHS is too slow to make them better. I.e., physically, I need to repair, need a new kidney, need whatever. Right, so a lot of them are off sick because they've been working from home. Did you know that?
Yes,
they've been working from home, so they got backache, they got strains, they got depression. They reckon quite a few are there.
Yeah.
And then there's just the odd lazy one, which will never stop. There's the odd one that just
you always get the minority.
I think, look, we really, really, really need to fix this. We need to teach our kids something different, a different mantra, not cover them in.
But be careful, seriously. Just if you do work from home, one of the most important things we have is vitamin D. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so many uses and helps with the immune system and all the rest of it. And we get normally our vitamin D from sunlight. Okay, but it's very easy, and I do it. So and I take supplements.
The happy drug, right?
No, yeah. Well,
they say it makes you happy.
Yeah. But if you're in all day, you're not going out, and you're in 23 hours a day. It is easy to not get
we're very productive at home, but it's lonely. We're creatures of tribes. Like we stick together.
Yeah, we are as a species. We're social.
So as I repeat, there's no guest today. We're going to wrap it up in 6 minutes. I'm going to wrap up the show. I don't know where Andrew is. I did send it out. So the sports today, if you're interested, the football league is going to start to become finalized. They say it's the most expensive week of the year. Someone Someone batted a century in the quickest time. That was pretty good.
Wow.
That's all I know
Well,
about sports
quick-
today.
quick
What have
bit
you
of-
got?
Quick bit of local news.
Yes, for sure.
Let's do the trees. So anyone who's up and around Clay Hill will probably know for this, but hundreds of trees were illegally felled in Clay Hill. So a Clay Hill landowner, and this is from Enfield Dispatch, so thank you for they've reported this, who illegally felled 270 protected trees, has been ordered to pay £250,000 in fines. Good on you. You know, you can't just do that.
I got a tweet from Enfield Dispatch this week, and it said that they need more people to subscribe to the newspaper. Local journalism is so important that we're holding our councillors to account. Now, Andrew, I have missed so much.
You look like you've had a good holiday.
Oh boy, I only got back last night. I don't know where I am.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
So any things where you know what stays out stays there.
It was memorable. Very, very exhausting. Guide. We did 9 flights in 2.5 weeks, but
Wow.
but well worth it. I mean, Peru and Ecuador are stunning. I mean, Galapagos Islands are.
Oh,
It's
please
just
put some
incredible.
pictures up on Loving
Yeah.
Local.
9 flights, Andrew.
Do you mind doing that for me?
No.
Yeah, I'm not very good technically how to do that, but
anyone
Send them to me and I'll put them up.
Okay.
You did
Yeah.
9 flights. Did anyone try and open the door while you were there?
It felt I wanted to get out. That's for sure, Mel.
I know. I think he just wanted to get out, stretch his legs. That's all.
Listen, Machu
crazy.
Picchu is obviously one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary place. And then the Galapagos Islands afterwards, I saw pretty much everything. The blue-footed boobies, I saw albatrosses, sea lions everywhere, turtles, just extraordinary place. But I'm back last night and obviously pretty jet lagged because we had to stop over in Madrid and then a 7-hour time difference. So just catching up really, guys. But
That's a lifetime. That's a one in a lifetime trip there.
it was, Gary. It really was. It really was, Gary. Yeah, it really was. And it sort of feels very weird, you know, sort of being home doing normal routine stuff when I've been on a 8-berth catamaran with 13 unknown.
Can I ask you a question? I'm described as senior nowadays.
Yeah.
I am. I saw an advert and it said, I think about life insurance. We start you at 50. So that's me. I'm senior.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. How does it feel? And I say to young people that I work with, that you're going to blink and be 20, blink and you'll be 30, and blink and the decades go by.
They do.
What are your goals in the next, say, 10 years, 20
Healthy.
years?
Just try and stay
Stay
healthy.
healthy.
Try and stay healthy and try and kind of deal with mortality the best way I can. But
Exercise the mind as well as the body.
you're so right, Malcolm. I mean, it's I think there's a lot to be. There's a lot to
say,
be.
Andrew, would you say that this is a fair statement? With the generations that are coming up, they're lacking resilience. So your parents had to go through wars. You may have seen the tail end of some very horrible times. They've had it easy, generally, compared to your grandparents.
Yeah, maybe.
We need to work on this resilience thing because we're going to be in big trouble. That's what we were talking about before.
But I do, well, up to a point. I do think.
Tell me, I don't mind being.
I do think young people are struggling at the moment in lots of ways.
Yeah.
Particularly, I mean, how on earth do you get on the property ladder, for instance, at the moment?
So,
it was that
apparently
part
under 25, such a small percent. I won't even risk. It was less than 10-15% of under 25-year-olds are on the property.
I was very moved by what you said earlier in the show, Gary, about the people you contacted this week. I mean, that's
What do you do with that?
And well,
I'll
tell you, Malcolm, I've fully happy to admit that I've been down the same road as Malcolm. Yeah. I've also used IAPT, and it's very hard. I don't know what you think, Malcolm. It's that sort of therapy is kind of cumulative. You don't benefit with sort of one-off sessions.
No, I think it's very dependent. I mean, I've had therapy with IAP for depression, and that I found quite good. But I recently had CBT to do with anxiety.
Exactly what I had, Malcolm.
And I
can't
found
believe that. That's exactly what I had.
And I found it an absolute load of rubbish.
Right.
But it was just not for me.
The young person that I sent, like that I was trying to get to be a bit more resilient, I sent him some YouTube videos. He said, "Oh, that's CPT."
CBT.
No, the nonsense. I hate it. But he found the thing is about learning by yourself. So that spun him on to something else he did resonate with.
Now, I think a lot of it is trying to be in the moment rather than overthinking.
Yes. So let's get this right about CBT. CBT works for a huge number of people. It really does. The basic concept is for you to understand and question the negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And therefore get out of that loop where you automatically go from what's that noise in the car to, oh my God, it's going to explode in 5 seconds.
Look, I think that's exactly what Malcolm has explained it exactly right, Gary. I've come back with all my emails are completely buggered, and really I should be panicking, but I've just been away for 2.5 weeks, and I'm trying to use that, Gary, as sort of as a positive, saying, well, I know my emails are buggered, but on Tuesday when my technical wizard is back from the weekend, I'll have them back. And really, our 3 days really that matter that much?
I'm quite interested in picking up on what you said, staying in the moment.
It's
really
important.
In
it's
exploring
important.
That. I don't know if you call. I was asked to do a talk on the meaning of life, and part of the day, a lovely lady, she was a psychotherapist, she came and she said that we have many unhelpful thoughts in our mind, and I felt that was very interesting. If you can remove those thoughts, great, but you've got to actually accept them first. So here's the first one. It's like a mental filter she talked about. So jumping to conclusions is an unhelpful thought. I'm going to share with you, I have a child who has had a blood test. It's come back that he might have HIV.
Might.
Doctor said it's inconclusive. My wife is like, it's ridiculous. I haven't stopped thinking about this.
No,
at all.
I suppose.
But then you have to. But then
it's your child.
But then the opposite is to think, well, you don't know for sure. So you can't. What Malcolm? There's one word that Malcolm, Gary. This applies to what you just said and what Malcolm's talking about. That one of the principles of CBT is not to catastrophize.
Well, that's the next word, catastrophize. What helps me about catastrophize is that it's from a childhood memory. So it says occurs when we blow things out of proportion. We still view the situation as terrible, awful, dreadful, horrible, or even that. But the problem is quite small, but we've blown it out of proportion. Here's a couple.
But don't think that it's easy just to say that. But Andrew will back me up. No, a lot of the time you're doing it.
Of course you do.
You know that what you're thinking is wrong. It's stupid. It's those things, but you can't help it. And with the anxiety, you don't. It's not just mental. You get physical things as well.
Of course you do. But the minute you can control that, and you control it, like we've got people like Nelson Mandela that found love for his prisoners. We've got people like Gandhi that said Muslims and Christians should love each other. We've got great people to look to say, look, the mind can control. Don't let my mind control me. I'm going to control my mind. So we've got two types of thoughts. You've got an subconscious thought, Malcolm. And 70% of your subconscious thinking is like beats your heart, and it makes you see. You don't even think about breathing. When you can make your subconscious a conscious thought subconscious, it takes a long time. But some of these things are so inside, you got to push them out. And I really have become really good at this, of working my way through. They've got 1,000 things going on, and I just plow my way through, and I try and remove any negative, unhelpful thought. My favorite one is imposter syndrome. So I could easily be imposter syndrome now, talking about a subject I haven't got a degree in. I've only got life skills in. So I can definitely say that one of the people that wanted to end his life, I had a go at him. I said to him, well, look, you got a wife and kids. You know the answer. I was pretty tough, right? Pretty tough. The next day, he said to me, thank you. It's you that's got me through this. There was a young lady this week that was literally, she did some really selfish things and they were quite immature. And I said to her, what you've done there is ridiculous. Like, it's not fair on your mum. And she's come back and said, thank you. Now, what I need to learn, and Andrew and Malcolm, I'm really hoping that you'll help me with this. What I need to learn is I'm too bullish. So here, I'm going to talk to you about Wednesday, right? Wednesday. There was a school that was the worst performing school. It's now the best performing school. And next to me was a gentleman that founded the school. Yeah. So when I went and spoke there, I stood there and I looked up. It's like an auditorium, Andrew.
Yeah.
I looked up and I said, if your grandparents were unemployed, the chances are your mum and dad are unemployed. And the whole place went berserk. 300 kids shouting, saying, you can't say that to us. And it calmed down and the teacher said, he's right. So then, just as things became normal again, I said, if your grandparents were unemployed and your parents were unemployed, chances are really, really, really high. You're all going to be unemployed. And if they went berserk the first time, they went really mad. Anyway, this can be backed up with evidence. You can ask my wife, Leah. About a month later, we went into Nando's and there was this kid there. And I said, how's it going? And he said, great. I got this job because of you. You inspired me to do it. Then I went into McDonald's about 3 months later and there was a kid there saying, because of you, I actually wanted to break the chain and get a job. And it was literally everywhere. I remember being in a car park and there was a car park assistant that said, because of that talk you did at Stun It. Now, the founder, I hope I do this justice. So the founder on Wednesday stood up and said exactly the same thing, but in a much nicer way. He said, you know what, a flea,
Yep.
A little flea that jumps from a dog to a human or a to a human.
Yeah.
He said to all the young people, look, fleas jump really high. If it was a human being, it would jump from the floor to the shard, he said. He said, if you get if you put fleas in a glass container, they'll jump for exactly 2 hours. And then they'll stop jumping that high because they know that they can't get any further.
Yeah.
You undo the top of the lid and they stop jump. Even though they could get out and they're quite capable, they've given themselves self-limiting beliefs. He said, that's not the interesting thing. Their kids carry on with that self-limiting belief and their kids. Wow. He said the same thing as me, but in a much nicer way.
Really?
I'm more impactful. Was his more impactful? I could be a little bit too much sometimes. And I would love your opinions on this and everyone else's opinion. We both said the same thing. Who's going to be more impactful? Andrew.
Good question. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Sometimes,
Listen, Malcolm, what's your view?
what's my view? I think we either as a species over criticize ourselves or under criticize. Sometimes it's finding a symbiotic relationship.
This is a show. This is a very deep show this morning.
Yeah, but I'll give you an example.
What prompted this?
I don't know. Why not? Why not? Let's get a bit forward.
Do you want to do the sport?
We want to do the
Yes,
sport. We will
definitely.
do the sport.
We'll move on. We'll move that.
No, let Malcolm say what
Right,
he
another
has.
thing. So it's a quick thing. So I've always, during my work, I've worked all my life since I was 15, never not been unemployed. But I've always, up until probably 6, 7, 8 years ago, always seemed to have a problem with my bosses. Not thing, but I always clashed. Everybody that was equal to me or under me, I was fine with. But for some reason, I always clashed with things. Then the latest boss I have now, I didn't want to continue with that. So what we did is we came up with a rule and we said, look, we're not going to get personal, but we're going to call each other out. And he calls me out when I get too talkative and I try to prove things. And he's very OCD about things. And sometimes it can be over, especially when we're trying to move a project forward, where it gets too into the little details. And I called him out. And we because we both agreed that beforehand, there's nothing nastiness now. We just come on. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. And it works really well.
You've sorted. I mean, look, it seems to me that you've struck a very.
Yeah, I was lucky. I am lucky.
Yeah.
I am lucky. And you know, there are fantastic bosses out there, and there are real horrible bosses out there. You know, and I feel sorry for someone who's got a bad boss. I really do.
And
listen, I think this is all about perspective. You know, I've just said to you, Gary.
Yeah.
I've just come back from holiday. I've got 700 emails. I can't access them. I can't. Now, hang on. I can't access them. Now, part of me, my normal way of reacting is to think, oh, Christ, I can't answer any emails. Woe is me. What am I going to do? I know that on Tuesday, after the bank holiday, the person who runs my what do you call it? Come on, Malcolm, help me out on an IT basis. Yeah, my domain.
Yeah,
domain will.
It's all stored. It's all your emails are stored on the host.
Will pick up the phone and help me out. So I've got to wait 3 days to answer emails. Now,
did you put?
Hang on. I'm now thinking. Well, I've just had 2.5 weeks away, a mind-blowing holiday that 99.9% of the population would love to have had. Why am I worrying about waiting 3 days before I can answer an email?
You do realize out of those 700 emails, 699 of them are probably just telling you you've won the Nigerian lottery.
and can I suggest something? Did you put out of office?
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do it. So you could possibly do an.
No, I know the emails are there.
They're there. They're all there.
I just can't access them.
Yeah, they're all there.
I know they're there.
They don't go anywhere.
But something's happened technically, and I'm technically ignorant, and it probably just needs a click of a button. But my friend can't do that.
Doesn't it feel wonderful to share a problem? A problem shared is a problem halved. Like I'm very honest with all my life. I'm very authentic. My mum had manic depression. She's still got manic depression. And as a young man, I wanted to understand why she was so up and so down, and why can't she be more consistent? And I was about 15, 16-year-old. There was no internet. So I went to Enfield Library, Edmonton Green, and I took out a book on depression. And this thing hadn't been taken out since 81. Like it had one stamp in it.
Yeah.
No one was interested in mental health 25 years.
No, they weren't.
Right? So I got the thing out, and I remember it so clearly. It said everyone gets depressed, from the Pope to a pauper. And it helped to get those feelings out. Now I was so impressionable at that time. That's why I'm a chatterbox. Any problem, I just say it. I don't keep it inside. And if between the three of us, we've helped someone today by saying, look, we all get it. Build up that mental resilience.
It's been a very
get rid of that stuff.
It's been a very one-track show today. I missed the last. What was the last? Last week, was there a show? You weren't.
Yeah, just quickly. We had lots of technical issues last week. Lots of technical issues.
But listen, what was I going to say? Yeah, there's some. Hasn't there been some pretty controversial news about somebody felling trees?
Yes, we were just talking about that. Yeah, it got nearly £500,000 fine in Clay Hill.
Illegally selling.
Yeah,
felling
illegally.
trees.
We're about to get a little bit of a celebrity.
We haven't done sport yet.
And we're about to be joined by Terry, who's a little bit of a celebrity.
No way.
I'm going to introduce her, and then we'll do the sport, and we'll bring Terry in. Like this person, this wonderful human being. She's just amazing. She's just amazing. You want to tell us about? Do you want to tell us about yourself, or shall I intro you?
Let's hear what you got to say. You could do it.
Put your video on, Terry.
Yeah, I can't. I'm in my jammies.
Fair enough. So we share something in common in multiple sclerosis. Yeah.
Oh.
But apart from that, we don't share that much in common, because she's a lot younger than me, and she's a lot more. She's created so much more in her life than
probably a lot prettier than you as well.
Oh, she's way prettier than me. But so we share something in common, and you started your own charity,
Yeah.
and it's an Enfield-based charity.
Yeah.
It's like people don't. You'd say that. Oh, Gary would say that, but MS gets such few. Hardly anyone knows anything about it. It doesn't really get talking about. And Terry's mission in life is for people to understand multiple sclerosis and how it affects us in fatigue and how different it is. And she's about to speak as the an ambassador for multiple sclerosis. Yeah. She's looking for help with a football tournament, something. So I don't want to take it all away from you, Terry.
That's so funny.
We're gonna let Andrew do the sport, and then we'll give you your format. How does that sound?
No problem. That's fine.
How did I do?
Yeah, you did all right, but the football match has gone already. That was last week Saturday, and it was a real success. It was really good. We raised just under £300.
Well done.
And I think you're amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Gary. I think you're great too.
Back over to Andrew.
Before I do the sport, I've got to give a shout out to my street, because we raised somewhere in the region of £800 for charity during our street party a couple of weeks ago, and that's my amazing. Neighbour won Best Decorated House awarded by Enfield Council. There we are.
I love that.
So I got
that's great.
Quick shout out for everybody in Kilvington Drive. Okay, Gary, you mentioned at the top of the show, it's described as the richest individual football match on the planet. It's the championship playoff match at Wembley. The winner gets a place in the Premier League next season. The loser stays in the championship, and it's two fairly, I would say, unfashionable clubs who are playing at Wembley today. Luton Town against Coventry City. Both of them have had incredibly hard times recently, particularly Coventry. Yeah. Luton, big surprise package to finish third in the league, and now they're playing Coventry in the playoff final at Wembley. Also, don't forget, huge weekend tomorrow. Malcolm knows why, Gary, because two teams are going to go down from the Premier League with Southampton, who are already relegated. Leeds, Everton, and Leicester are all fighting to stay in the Premier League. All big clubs, especially Everton. And tomorrow, it all comes down to the wire with the last round of Premier League.
If you're a football fan, you're going to be really excited about that. I don't want to be cynical, but this chap that got 100 runs, 100 runs, they look like easy bowling to me.
His name's Abbott. He plays for Surrey.
It looked like really easy. Like he was just swinging at it. It was
34 balls. He got.
Why didn't they change the bloody bowler?
Well, it's Gary. It's not quite simple as that. They did change the bowlers.
But they did.
In T20, which it was a T20 match yesterday against Kent. I think just catching up. That's what T20 cricket is all about, slamming the ball out of the park, as Malcolm knows. And this guy, I didn't see it, but apparently it was incredible. There's also a Grand Prix this weekend. Malcolm knows all about that. But it's all about the final weekend of football. It's not just the Championship playoff. There's also the League One and League Two playoff. And
can I share, Terry, we are talking about mental resilience today.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
No, she's gone.
She's gone. She can't have gone.
No, I'm still here.
So
I just couldn't get it off mute. Sorry.
The theme of today was talking about mental resilience, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And my son, one of the kids, said to my daughter, who's the youngest, he said, "Do you know the people that are the most rounded at school and the least weird and don't have all their hang-ups are the ones that play sport?" And he looked at my wife and he said, "Mum, you should encourage Angelina to play a sport, because really and truly, all the people that do this stuff are the less weird." And I thought, wow, sport is very important. Very important. Let's not disregard that. So getting out there, playing football, netball, basketball, whatever the hell it is, let's encourage it for our young people, because that is one of the solutions to being a little bit more well-rounded. Terry, there's only 11 minutes left of the show. We always talk about what we're doing at the weekend, but can I give you a platform to talk With your opinion on mental resilience, because when you're diagnosed with something like MS, you go through a massive period of denial and all these internal thoughts. You think really bad, and here you are being the ambassador for a global brand. Can you? I'll be quiet. You got minutes to just tell us.
I think I'll take 3 minutes of those. In terms of the mental resilience, I feel like I went through the 5 stages of grief very early in regards to when I got diagnosed. And I think partly that was because my brother had it. So I had seen MS and the different effects of it. I just knew I needed to go around it a different way because he didn't have that mental resilience, if that makes sense. He actually gave up on it. Now, in terms of the Disability Expo, there'll be over 10,000 people in the room at the Excel Centre on the 6th and the 7th of July. Talks with MS, which is my now registered charity. We're just there to build awareness. We need to create less of a taboo around multiple sclerosis because it actually affects more than 130,000 people in the UK alone. I'll be speaking on the 7th of July. I'll be speaking about the intersectionalities within the disabled community.
Oh, that was too quick a topic. Well, hold on. What
Sorry.
does that mean?
I've only got 3 minutes. That's why.
Chill. We could. We're in charge. We can make it go longer. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll be talking about the intersectionalities within the disabled community.
What does that mean?
So just the different factors of people. So for me, for example, if you look at me as a tick box, my disability for the moment is invisible. I'm a Black woman. I'm a mother. I'm under the cohort of 40. It's just the different tick boxes and the different sections that people fall under. Right. As someone that has an invisible disability and is sometimes not seen as disabled, I go through a lot of shit, including people trying to call the police on me for having a blue badge. It was mine.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like, guys, it's my face all over that blue badge. I have it for reasons unseen, but I'm in pain 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Whether people want to identify with that or not.
I'm absolutely as guilty. I walk into, go to supermarkets and I see Range Rovers and huge, massive trucks with blue badges, and I'm going, how can that person? I couldn't get into that car, let alone a disabled person.
Yeah.
And you do judge.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to almost eradicate, if that makes sense. Because first of all, it's not fair. Second of all, I've felt unseen before, and I'm like, I don't want anyone else to go through that. I'm a bit of a tough cookie, so it doesn't really bother me as much. And I'll be like, excuse me, I promise you, as a disabled person, I can use your products too. And I kind of get looked at like, disabled where? All of me, it's on paper. I don't appreciate it, but it's there. So yeah, it's just kind of trying to break.
I think Terry.
She's from Enfield. We need to celebrate this lady.
Terry, I think quietly and calmly, you need to tell everyone again the dates, the name of the event, etc., etc.
Right. So it's the Disability Expo. It's at the Excel Centre. And it's on the 6th and the 7th of July. I've sent Gary the link. I'm going to be an ambassador because I saw no representation. And quite calmly, I spoke to who I needed to speak to, and here I am. I'm an ambassador. I've got a stall, Talks to MS. That's our first ever stall, and it's going to be at the biggest disability exhibition. So
I'm so proud of you. Like the hairs on the back of my neck are so proud. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So yeah, I did.
You're a champion.
Gary, because obviously things cost money, and I'm currently self-funded. So I was like, I'm looking for donations because I have to pay for things. So yeah, it's different. As a young Black woman, at 5 years old, at 6 years old, I never thought I would have a disability, let alone a charity based on the disability I have. And for me, it's personal. It was personal before it was personal, and now it's just my heart.
Wonderful.
Inspiring.
Good for
Inspiring.
you.
Inspiring. Just one word. We always like to finish the show on a high.
Yeah.
And we talk about what we're going to do at the weekend, and then that way it might inspire others to do something similar. So are you good with that, Terry, to share with us what you're going to do at the weekend? We'll leave you to last. You would be the finale.
No problem.
All right. So Malcolm,
Decorating.
fancy?
So as you know, I've been the last 6 weeks having a new kitchen put in. The kitchen's in. So now it's just some decorating to finish it off. So that's what I'll be doing all weekend.
With decorating, can you be more specific? Are you painting?
Painting, yeah. So
It's quite-
stealing.
Quite relaxing.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You're going to do it properly, cut it all in, do
Yeah.
the lines, do the boring stuff first.
Yeah, yeah. But because obviously I suffer from fibromyalgia, I can't
Okay.
I have to do this in steps. So I have to do like half an hour and stop, because otherwise I end up being crippled and can't move for 2 days. So I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product and
Yes.
you making me a cup of tea when I get there.
Yeah,
Andrew's just come back from the most amazing trip. He's promised me he's going to share some pictures. What unpacking? How quickly are you going to unpack?
I'm going to do it very slowly, and then I'm going to join a couple of another member of Enfield Town's board who we have a stall at them. Do you know, Malcolm, this motoring pageant? that
yes,
happens in
yeah,
Enfield?
yes.
Well, go along, everybody, because Enfield Town have a stall there promoting the football club. So I'm going to be helping with
I've got
that.
some good news for you, Andrew. Circle Group that were part of the
Oh, yes.
they didn't quite win happiest place to work in Enfield. I saw him last Tuesday. He said, "Oh, I want to sponsor Enfield Town. I really enjoyed reading
Gary,
their
I
profile."
need Gary, stop. That's great. I need 100%
And they're loaded.
straight after the show.
Yes.
Contact details for this guy.
Fine, I'll send it all to you. But Steve, do you know how many people are collaborating because of the award?
Do you know the guy's name?
Yes, his name's Kiri. Lovely man.
Yeah, I met him, but we've tried to get in touch with him and he hasn't.
I
got
will
back.
do it. So many people from the awards.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, then this afternoon, I'm going to watch the championship final, and tomorrow is all about the finale of the Premier League and just trying to get over jet lag and get myself back into decent shape in terms of fatigue. But
Nice.
yeah, there you go.
So I've been a business owner since I was 11. I was washing cars at 11, and I've never been more excited to speak to my accountant. Like that, their business comes in 3 parts: finance, operations, marketing. And the marketing, the finance bit has always been boring to me. So I'm meeting my accountant after this. Which is quite fun. Like for me, it used to be my worst part. Now it's one of my best bits. We are getting ready for a family wedding. We haven't had a family wedding for more than 5 years, like COVID, whatever, more funerals than anything else. Church on Sunday, wedding on Sunday, Monday, no plans. And I kind of like that. Terry, over to you.
The weekend's going to be quite chilled. I'm flying out to Dublin on Tuesday, so just kind of getting ready for that.
Do you
Really.
like a Guinness? Do you drink this thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. I cannot wait to have authentic Guinness. I can't wait. I'm going to a tech summit over there, so yeah, that should be fun.
A tech summit.
A tech
Yeah.
summit.
Go on, you geek. Do you know Malcolm's son?
No,
He's amazing. Maybe
Really?
we'll put it together. Yeah, he's a clever guy.
He is really
Tech-
clever.
yeah, I love tech. So tech summit's happening in Dublin, and then we've got London Tech Week. And again, I'm part of a sales group, so yeah, that should be fun as well.
Fantastic. Sounds good.
Matt, Andrew, for what it's worth, you're loved here. We missed you so much.
Absolutely.
Terry,
Thank you
for what
very
it's
much,
worth,
guys.
your energy is contagious, and we're really proud of you, Malcolm. I love
Thank
you
you.
very much for covering me on the show. And Terry, I'd say it again, there was a time we haven't missed the show for 5 years.
Amazing.
Terry was the only one available. I'd never even met her in real life. Terry, do you mind running the show for me? She literally came here, sat here, done it. Amazing.
When
You're
was
part of
that?
the history. Like we've never missed one. And Terry was the
Terry went to the studio and did the show.
she did-
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
Gosh.
flying out. I can't remember where he was flying out to, but he was flying
France.
out. Yeah, he was going to. Oh, and also kudos to Nick. Nick got my flyers done for me in like not even 6 hours. So that was
Nick's the
a great
man. He's
connection.
so lovely. He's got
Yeah,
such
it was
a big heart.
amazing.
Big shout out if you need any printing. That come and talk to us. Nick, he's so kind. He's such a nice.
Yeah,
Good to know.
definitely.
Nick.
That's a wrap. It's 11
an hour.
o'clock.
It is.
Have a lovely weekend, everyone. And
Beautiful sunshine. Get out.
mental
Yeah.
resilience isn't
Yeah.
just about being tree huggy. Think about what's going on internally. I leave you with this. Happiness is an internal thing. Doesn't matter about what's going on outside.
Good way to